All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our release kickoff for Milestone 16.8. My name is Hillary Benson. I'm the product leader here at GitLab for our SEC and data science sections, and I'll be your host for today's live stream. I'm happy to introduce the other product leaders joining me to talk about the 16.8 milestone today. In the order they will be presenting, they are Derek Ferguson, who's a group product manager. He'll provide updates for the dev section. Sarah Waldner, group product manager, will provide updates for the SEC section. Tim Rizzi, principal PM, will provide updates for the CI and CD sections. Josh Lambert, director PM, will provide updates for core platform. And Taylor McCaslin, group product manager, will provide updates for the data science section. We are focused on delivering value iteratively with a focus on our fiscal 24 product investment themes, which are first, to build a world-class DevSecOps experience that's focused on first-class usability, additional collaboration capabilities, and AI-powered workflows. Second, to provide advanced security and compliance to all of our customers. This means adding depth to our ultimate tier and bringing software supply chain security to the forefront of how software is delivered. Third, to bring observability, analytics, and feedback into DevSecOps. That's all about empowering organizations to close the software delivery lifecycle loop with data. And lastly, GitLab for data science, which enables data scientists and engineers and brings them into the DevSecOps platform and gives them all the benefits that their counterparts experience, including collaboration and reproducibility, streamlined deployment into production. Really quick before handing over to Derek, I do have to quickly preface today's call with our forward-looking statement disclosure, so bear with me for a second. On this live stream, we'll be discussing our roadmap, which includes upcoming features and functionality. It's important to note that the information provided is for informational purposes only. Please do not rely on it for planning or purchasing decisions. We plan very ambitiously here at GitLab, and all the details on this live stream are subject to change. The timing of product features and functionality remains solely at the discretion of GitLab. And with that, I will hand it over to Derek to kick us off.
All right, thanks, Hillary. So I will be going through the dev section, and I'll start off with something that's adding to our observability, analytics, and feedback theme. The DORA performance score panel on the value streams dashboard is being released in 16.8. We're finishing up the work on that. It's been hidden behind a feature flag, so that flag will be defaulted to on in 16.8. All right, moving on to pages. We've been working on a few things for pages, being able to have multiple deployments for GitLab pages so that you can easily make changes and see what those changes are without changing the production deployment of the pages site. We'll also be adding a new way to add DNS to GitLab pages without the DNS wildcard. So this should open up some more options for users that need a different way of getting a domain name onto their pages. All right, we've got a lot of updates for work items, and this one is, and all the rest of these will be added back to our world-class DevSecOps experience theme. So we're going to be adding a couple of quick actions. Removing the child and removing the parent for the work items. We'll also be adding an edit button to bring this more in line with the way that GitLab, the rest of the GitLab features work, so that you can easily edit the attributes for your work items. We're going to be working on moving the work items to a new parent whenever an issue is moved, rather than closing and keeping those work items attributed to the original parent. And then finally, we'll be working to add the participants widget in work items so that it works the same way as your issues or epics do, so that you can add those participants there. All right, moving on to remote development. We have a big announcement for 16.8. Our remote development workspaces will be GA in 16.8. It's been in beta for a while now, and January we will be releasing this as fully GA. We're also working on enabling the Web IDE extension marketplace for third-party extensions within the Web IDE. This will be enabled for GitLab.com SaaS users only in January, and we'll be working on adding it for self-managed users after that. But this will allow you to enable third-party extensions within the Web IDE so that you can easily work through the ways that you would like to within the extension marketplace and enable different workflows. All right, and then lastly, we'll also be enabling the settings sync for the Web IDE. So right now, the Web IDE doesn't persist user preferences across sessions because of the way that it's built right now. And we will be adding this so that you can easily sync across the board all of your settings within the Web IDE. All right, and that is it for me, and I will pass it on.
Sarah, I think you're up next.
Thanks, Hillary. Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah Waldner, Group Manager for the Secure Stage, and I'll be walking us through all of the Milestone kickoff highlights for the SEC section. All right, so before I dive in, our section's contributions for the Secure and Govern stage for this milestone all fall under the Advanced Security and Compliance Controls theme. So let's dive in, starting with the Threat Insights team from the Govern stage. So this milestone, Threat Insights will be spending it in a bug bash, making the best use of the time over holidays where we've got different people out, spending time to set themselves up well for the next year. So fixing some UX blemishes, showing up some performance items. I'm excited for it. Moving on, from the authentication group. They'll be adding the ability for group owners to view their users' email addresses in the UI and via the API. Previously, group owners could only retrieve email addresses through the API and only for provisioned users. The definition of the enterprise user is now updated and based on domain. So these changes will allow group owners to confirm the primary email address for their users. Believe it or not, this did not exist before, so we're really excited for this addition. Group authentication will also be adding webhook events for expiring group and project access tokens. This will allow customers to stay ahead of the token expiration and avoid disruption and automation by revising the expiration date or rotating the token. For the authorization group, they'll be adding 4 more permissions to the customizable roles framework, continuing the work towards closing the remaining delta that exists between the developer and maintainer jobs. This month, we'll be adding permissions to manage the Terraform state, manage group access tokens, and the ability to add compliance frameworks to a project. On to the secure stage for composition analysis. They'll be focused on releasing continuous vulnerability scanning support for container scanning. This will provide more timely information for container scanning users so that they can understand open source risk and remediate it in a more rapid fashion. This is the next iteration in the continuous vulnerability scanning project that we've been enabling for dependency and container scanning. And this particular iteration will be initiated when the TriviDB changes. Also from composition analysis, they'll be completing some follow-up work they identified to improve the recently released continuous vulnerability scanning for dependencies feature. This will consist of mainly backend enhancement work. All right. Back to Govern for security policies. They'll be working on pipeline execution policies actions. So when creating scan execution policies, they'll be extending the current OOTB GitLab scan options to allow users to define a new pipeline execution action. This action will allow the user to enforce custom CI required for security and compliance requirements. Very exciting. Also coming to us from the security policy group. They'll be working on linking security policies to compliance frameworks, an improvement to both usability and flexibility of security policies. User will be able to scope security policies to compliance frameworks so that projects with a particular label will be enforced for a given policy. This will allow for a more atomic definition and granular enforcement of security policies. Okay. Coming at us from static analysis in partnership with our vulnerability research group, they're working on updating our detection rules for SaaS. So the primary focus is on reducing false positive results, though a number of updates will also help us reduce false negative results by identifying more variants of existing code patterns. The languages we're currently focused on today include Java, Python, and Go, though we'll be moving on to the other languages that SemGrep supports later. Additionally, from the static analysis group, they'll be continuing to work on building pre-received secret scanning. This capability blocks pushes that contain high confidence secrets. Our intent is to release this as experimental in January. From our dynamic analysis group, they're continuing to focus work on work required to fully replace proxy-based DAS with our proprietary browser-based DAS solution. This includes migrating on-demand scans to our browser-based solution. This would allow security professionals to configure the scanner in the UI versus using the CI file, streamlining the user experience for many. Also from dynamic analysis for browser-based DAS, they'll be working to enable browser-based DAS scanner in our auto DevOps functionality, replacing the proxy-based solution, further preparing us to deprecate it in 17.0. And finally, onto our compliance group. They'll be making some improvements to the standards adherence report to make reporting more robust and actionable. This includes grouping results by project, grouping results by standard, starting with the GitLab standard, the ability to filter by project, compliance framework, name, and standard, ability to export to CSV, manual on-demand adherence report scanning, and improved pagination. Awesome. I'm excited about that one. And finally, last but not least, also from the compliance group, they'll be working on adding more exciting capabilities to the new compliance frameworks report. This will include the ability to view frameworks in a list view within the Frameworks tab, search and filter capabilities to find specific frameworks, ability to use new compliance framework sidebar to explore more details for each framework, the ability to edit your framework to view all settings, including managing name, description, standards adherence linking, and link projects, as well as the ability to create a quick report of your frameworks with an export to CSV. That wraps it up for the tech section for 16.8. Thank you so much. And Hillary, I'm going to hand it back to you.
All right, I think Tim, you're up next with the CI/CD sections.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Tim Rizzi, Principal Product Manager in the CI section, and I'm going to kick it off the CI/CD sections for 16.8. These sections support developers and platform engineers to effectively complete their automation, configuration, and operations tasks in GitLab after their code has been submitted. The three stages within this section are verify, package, and deploy. We have a few investments planned in 16.8. Our core theme this release is building a world-class DevSecOps experience where we have several teams making great contributions. The first, the pipeline execution group, is focused on driving efficiency. A top concern we've heard that AfterScript does not recognize canceling status. In this release, we're adding a keyword to lay the foundation for adding canceling statuses to AfterScript. Now, if you're running tests on device farms or have blocked Terraform scripts, there's a solution right around the corner for you. The next, the pipeline authoring team will focus on usability improvements for the CI/CD catalog. In this milestone, we have two improvements. One, to add a new Your Resources tab so you can quickly find the components that you're looking for, and also adding the ability to sort the component by verified author. The goal of these is to make finding and using the components more efficient. The package group will improve the Terraform registry by adding a new group level view to make it easier to find and validate a given Terraform module, even if you have a complex group and project structure. Runner core is focused on adding timestamps to the CI build logs for each log line to help debug long-running scripts during CI jobs. In addition, we'll expand the runner fleet dashboard to add a CSV export of compute minutes used on instance runners to give operators an easy way of knowing which runners in their fleet have the most usage. In 16.8, we'll also add Windows 22 support so that when Windows 2019 reaches its end of life on January 9th, users can still build, test, and deploy applications on Windows. The second theme we're contributing towards is advanced security and compliance. In this domain, the verify stage will deliver some improvements to meet compliance requirements. The pipeline security team has two issues planned. The first is delivering a GCP secrets manager, where we're working on the implementations piece for both Runner and for Rails. We're also continuing to build our own secrets manager. This milestone will be adding an index page as well as a secrets creation page. This is by no means a comprehensive list of everything we're shipping. Please take a look at the direction pages or the kickoff videos for more. And that wraps it up for me, and I'll pass it over to Josh.
Thanks, Tim. Some pretty exciting items coming out of CI/CD. Let me go ahead and share my screen here so I can talk about what's coming from the core platform section. There we go. So we have two major themes that we're working on for this milestone. We have the world-class dev experience, which we'll talk through first, and then some general maintenance work that we're doing as well. So let's jump into world-class DevOps with our search group first. And we are continuing our work towards rolling out improved code search for all of our customers. And right now we are in closed beta and we're working towards having it an open opt-out beta. And the main item we're working on right now in this release is we're working towards replication. This will allow us to accomplish two things. The first is that we can do rolling deployments of updates to our search infrastructure without causing any downtime. And the other item is that we can also have resilience in the event of a failure with a search node by being able to have direct queries to the other search nodes with the indexes. And so this will help us in both those use cases, and we see that as a prerequisite to making the defaulted on for our customers. We're also working on a number of improvements to the command palette. If you haven't seen the command palette, you can find that by tapping on the / icon or by clicking over in the search or go-to menu as well. And we're in general making some small improvements here. You can see that we have a list here of what we're working on. Actually, I had the wrong link here. I apologize. I just noticed that now. But you can go find the issue, and we're making some improvements to discoverability. We're adding an option to tell you what command options are available here in the bottom right-hand corner, and some general other UX improvements as well. Moving on towards the Cloud Connector team, we have the main focus being supporting GitLab Duo Chat for self-managed and our dedicated offering. This will allow us to bring the chat option here under, if I was logged in, I could show you, but there's a little menu over here where you can actually add a chatbot to ask questions to our documentation. And so ask a question like, how do I configure GitLab CI? And it will give you a response with links to documentation as well. And this will help users onboard more quickly, as well as just some quick reference questions without having to leave the GitLab interface. And so I'm looking forward to bringing that from our SaaS offering over towards self-managed and dedicated. With Geo, we continue our work towards unifying the backups into one single command line interface. This will improve the overall usability and allow us to also offer some pretty compelling features in the future as we implement and work towards things like point-in-time recovery, where you could issue one command to the CLI, ask for it to rewind to a certain point in time, and then the CLI ideally would then rewind all the data sources back to that point in time and synchronously make sure that happens. So we're really looking forward to doing this and improving the overall usability of our backups. Also in the backup theme, in the Geo group, we are improving our documentation for backing up larger architectures with the new server-side backups for repositories. So previously, we would have one node which tried to reach out to all the Gitly repositories, pull down their contents, zip them up, and then put them somewhere. That took a long, long time. Now, each Gitly node can independently do its own backups to object storage, which greatly improves the overall process and makes it highly parallelized. And so that we're looking forward to making this documentation available for our customers and recommending it for large architectures. Over in the Giddily group, we are working towards further improvements to supporting bundle URIs for clones. What this allows us to do is essentially skip a lot of processing when the Giddily node gets a clone request. So when a user goes to clone their code, oftentimes it needs to know what you have, and then if nothing, it can give you the full repository. Or if you're a certain state, it can give you a portion of it. And what we can do with bundle URIs is give you a pre-computed file for most of our users, get most of the content down, and then spend less time processing the exact delta for you in particular to get you back up to speed. So this will overall improve the utilization of our Giddily nodes and improve how fast we can handle clones. Over in the tenant scale group, we are continuing our work towards organization isolation. And in this milestone, we are focused on adding the organization ID as the sharding key to a number of tables. This will allow us to quickly determine what content is for a particular organization. And that will then allow us to really speed up a lot of queries across the product and really implement that improved isolation, since we have a very clear identifier on what content is associated with which organization. Moving over towards our foundations team, we are going to start looking at our kind of next spike of work here as a larger theme, and we want to go look at settings usability and consistency. Settings has a number of places in the groups, projects, and also the instance level. And so we want to go spend some time identifying what usability improvements we want to try and make, validating the proposed fixes with our customers and our users, and making sure that we have a nice, crisp list of things to go do to improve this part of our product. So we're excited about this, and we're going to start that research now. With our import integrations team, we are focused on improving the import speed from GitHub, and we plan to improve this in two ways. The first is by having a GitHub app that runs on GitHub Enterprise Cloud. This will allow us to have a higher number of requests per hour for our import jobs to run. And so this will improve the overall import speed for customers who have their content on github.com. Also, we are working to switch how we pull content, and we want to move this over towards the timeline API, which is a more efficient way of tracking the changes in a project. And this will also allow us to overall improve the migration time, as you can see here, as well, by having a more efficient usage of the API. So looking forward to both those to improve the overall experience and importing for our customers. Over towards tenant scale again, we are also working on our routing technology for cells. Cells is the idea where we can stand up on the backend side, transparent to users, multiple kind of additional infrastructure to run GitLab.com and be able to easily horizontally scale our service. And so with kind of multiple small instances, we need some way to route between them. And so we are doing a number of different routing POCs to confirm the best approach to handle this, Cloudflare, Istio, and things like that. So looking forward to the results of that proof of concepts to determine where we go in the future for the implementation. Here is the command palette. So I apologize, I had the wrong link before. So you can see some examples I was showing you here as well. So here is the commands to show you what command palette the search is going to work on improving, so you know what to do and what you can do within the search palette, and a number of other improvements here as well. Finally, for our database group, we are continuing to work on reducing the overall lightweight lock contention. This is an area where our database on GitLab.com can sometimes not perform as well as we'd like. And so we want to improve the overall contention of these lightweight locks. And one way we can do this is actually by dropping indexes that are not frequently used on our database. And we've identified about 10 of these, and we're going through and dropping a few of these to help improve that overall, or reduce the overall contention and improve performance for all of our users. And that's it for the core platform section. I will hand things over to Taylor to take us home on all of the things AI and model gateway related.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh. Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor McCaslin. I'm a group manager for our data science section. I'll start with our AI-powered stage focused on adding generative AI capabilities to create a world-class DevSecOps experience focused on transforming data into useful insights and actions. We'll mostly talk about GitLab Duo Chat today. The team is focused on bringing GitLab Duo Chat to self-managed and dedicated instances, which we expect to ship this milestone. This will also be focused on mirroring the experience for .com users. However, it will not include support for questions about GitLab documentation due to complexity. With that implementation, we hope to add that in future releases. We're also working on introducing streaming into the GitLab Duo Chat in IDE to help receive responses faster and allow you to read those responses as they're streaming in. This will help chat feel more performant and faster at responding to questions. This will mirror how this works in the GitLab.com UI today. We're also working on improving support for / commands and the quality of the responses for that. Today, we support a few commands, including generating tests, refactoring code, and explaining the code within the IDE. We're expanding the context that is sent with these commands to improve the quality of those results. And then finally, we're continuing to work on improving the way that we evaluate the accuracy of chat responses to ensure that chat responses are both accurate and useful. Next, I'll move over to the model ops stage, which is focused on helping enable and empower data science workloads. Our MLOps group is expecting to have the experimental release of the model registry. This will allow data science teams to create models and model versions, track metadata and performance of models, upload files using the MLflow client. This will also include a simple UI to browse models and model versions, as well as download model files directly from the GitLab UI. So that's what we're focused on for the data science section, and I'll hand it back to Hillary to wrap us up.
Awesome. Thanks, Taylor. So as per usual, there is a ton of great stuff going on. I know there's a lot of content, so just to wrap us up, I'll pull out a few highlights that the team just shared today. So Derek spoke to us for the dev section about moving remote development workspaces to GA. That is super exciting. Also talked about adding Dora Performance Score panel to value stream metrics, enabling the Web ID extension marketplace for GitLab.com as well. In the sec section, we talked about adding additional permissions for customizable roles, extending support for continuous vulnerability scanning to container scanning, and linking security policies to compliance frameworks so that you can ensure projects are enforced for a given policy. In the CI/CD section, we've got a bunch of usability improvements to the CI catalog to make finding and using components easier, and native support for GCP Secret Manager. For core platform, replication of code search across search nodes, improvements to the command palette, and support for GitLab Duo Chat on self-managed. And for data science, streaming for chat in the IDE, improve / command context for improved responses, and model registry experimental release. This is just a sample of everything that we're working on, so please check out the release kickoff page for a full list of items. Also, feel free to comment on our issues and engage with the team. We love to get interaction from customers and folks across the community, so please don't hesitate to reach out. And with that, thank you very much for watching the 16.8 release kickoff.